What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be talking about the top 10 cars that you guys can get for around $20,000 if you're a car enthusiast. And be sure to stick to the end because I'm sure you guys didn't even know the last one was so cheap. But first, you guys, let's do a poll. Now, coming in at number 1, we have the 370Z. This has to be one of the best looking VQ motor cars that you can get. So you can get them in either automatic or manual, and they range around $20,000 to $15,000. And for this price range, you can get them from around 2009 to around 2013. The aftermarket support for this car is really insane. It's pretty much endless, and the car has around 332 horsepower. So that is really just plenty for having tons and tons of fun since it is rear wheel drive. Now, the interiors of these cars kind of suck, but I mean, you're going to purchase this car, it's not really for the interior, it's going to be for the looks on the outside and also for the decent amount of speed. And because it is a V6, it's going to get a decent amount of gas mileage in the lower to mid 20s. Now, the only downside about this car is that it's only a 2-seater. It does have a little bit of trunk space in the hatch, but that's really all you're going to get. And it has some cubbies behind the seats as well, but if you're going to daily this car, it might be kind of hard, but you can surely make it work. Now, coming in at number 2, and this is going to be a car that I personally want to get as a daily, and that's a 2016 BMW 340i. So I didn't even know this, but these cars actually come with the B58 motor, which is the same exact motor that is within the new Toyota Supra. So this motor comes turbocharged stock, and it has so much power potential. There's people that push 700, 800 horsepower off the motor just by doing injectors, throwing in a bigger turbo, and also doing a tune. And another really cool feature about these cars is that you can work on them so easily. There's a lot of space in the engine bay. There's tons of forums online on how to work on them. Pretty reliable. They're actually one of the most reliable motors from BMW ever created. So you can find them for around $20,000 with just under 100,000 miles. And of course, it is a 4-door, so it has plenty of space. And there's people out there making 500, 600, 700 horsepower, all while still getting 25 miles per gallon, because this thing gets insane gas mileage as an inline 6. And if you didn't want to go the sedan route, you can also get the 440i, which is the same exact car, but it is a coupe. And they also make some of these cars in manual, but they're going to cost a little bit more expensive and they're harder to get. And the 340i comes with around 330 horsepower stock. Now, coming in at number 3, we got the 2015 Mustang GT. The Coyote motor has to be one of the best sounding V8s ever to be made, and you can get them for around $20,000. If you're going to find a Mustang GT around this price range, it's going to have around 100,000 miles on them, but the Coyote motor is reliable, and you just have to make sure that the maintenance was kept up with. And not only are you getting an amazing sound, this thing is a V8. So the only downside of this car would be the space and then also the gas mileage. But I do think that this car would be quite worth it with the miles per gallon and that amazing sound of the American muscle. And these cars have a huge community as well, with tons and tons of people that love to modify them and do crazy builds. Now, coming in at number 4, we got the C6 Corvette, and you can get either the Stingray model, or if you wanted to get a Z06, you can get the C5 model for all under $20,000. Now, both of these cars come with 400 horsepower, and I do think that it's one of the best bangs for your buck if you wanted to get a really nice looking car with a lot of power. The LS motor is one of the best sounding V8s as well, and I do think that it sounds a lot better than the Coyote motor. But if you want bragging rights saying that you have a Corvette, then there you go. You can find one for around $20,000. And they also come in manual too, so that adds to the extra fun. But as you guys know, this is a coupe, so it doesn't have that much space in it. But if that doesn't matter to you, then go ahead and check these out. Now, coming in at number 5, we got the 2015 Acura TLX. So I personally am a fan of Acuras nowadays. The early 2000s ones weren't all that good looking, but man, they have some crazy facelifts and they look absolutely amazing. So if you get the 2015 Acura TLX with the 3.5 liter, that's going to be a V6 and it has around 300 horsepower. Not only that, it's going to get good gas mileage. It's a sedan, so it has plenty of room in it, but the only downside about this car is that it's front wheel drive, so you're not going to be able to do donuts with it unless you throw trays under the car. But I do think that these cars are so underrated. They look absolutely amazing, and they're a perfect daily that gets really good gas mileage. Now, coming in at number 6, we got another personal favorite of mine, and that's the Pontiac G8. This thing comes with 361 horsepower, you guys, and it comes with a LS motor in it, and it's pretty much a 4-door Corvette. People love to take these to the track. They're track day weapons, and the amount of rubber that you can burn with this thing thing is out of this world. And the reason as to why I really love these cars is because they're so unsuspecting. They look like a regular sedan. No one really knows about Pontiacs, but until you pop that hood or rev that V8, you're going to change their mind completely. People also love to build out these motors too. They come with the LS, like I said, and they're super reliable. People love to get them cammed, and I can tell you this, if you decide to get this car and build it out, your neighbors will absolutely hate you. And I think it's so cool that you can actually find them for under $20,000, considering that they're kind of rare. Now, coming in at number 7, we got another V8, and that's the 2012 Mercedes AMG. This is also a really good daily car. It's a sedan. It has 451 horsepower. It's the fastest car on this list so far, and you can find it for around $20,000. And it's going to have around 100,000 miles within this price range. But the brutality of the V8 in the AMG really is so distinct compared to American muscle cars that we hear. Now, this is an AMG, so the maintenance is going to be a little bit more expensive than other cars on this list. But if you have a budget saved up and you just really want to get a fast car that is both good looking, has 4 doors, and you can have a lot of fun with it, then this is a good option. The only downside about this car that I've seen online is that people are saying they get really bad gas mileage on it, and one of the worst I've heard is around 10 miles per gallon. Now, coming in at number 8, we have the Infiniti Q60 3.0. This thing comes twin turbocharged with around 300 horsepower, and the tunability of this car is really great too. I've seen people push around 700 or 800 horsepower out of these motors, and the body styling of these cars as a coupe is really nice, probably the best looking coupe out of all these other cars on this list so far. And because it is a Infiniti, the community for this car is really big as well, and you can find tons and tons of aftermarket parts on eBay, and you can make them sound absolutely amazing. So if you're a guy with an Edgar haircut, go ahead and get this car. Now, coming in at number 9, this is going to be one for people that really don't want to have a gas guzzler, but something that's going to be perfect for a daily, whether you're going to work or school, and that's a 2021 Toyota Corolla hatchback. I really think Toyota did it right when they made this car. You can actually get it with a manual transmission. Now, they are kind of slow with 169 horsepower, but if you get the manual one, you can have plenty of fun with it. And the best part of it all is that you get 32 miles per gallon with this car. And that's probably on a bad day, considering that this car is pretty small and lighter than the sedan version. And you can also get it in automatic. And I really think that this is a good alternative to the Toyota GR, which is literally double the price of the regular hatchback, which blows my mind. But if you want the perfect daily with plenty of space, plenty of room for passengers, then I would definitely get this car, because you can do some really amazing builds and make it almost look like a Toyota GR hatchback. Now, lastly, at number 10, I'm sure you guys didn't know this, but you can actually get an E92 M3 for $20,000. Now, it's going to have close to around 100,000 miles on it, but what you need to make sure that you do whenever you get these cars or any type of BMW is make sure that the rod bearings are done, make sure it's up to date on oil maintenance, the valve cover gaskets are done, make sure that this car was really taken care of. Same thing with all these other cars on this list, then you will get a good car for $20,000. And the E92 M3 has one of the best sounding V8s out there. I probably put it at number 2 right under the LS motor. And you can just find tons and tons of videos online of mountain runs with this car, the brutal sound of the downshifting of this car. That personally just made me want to get it. And these cars are so unique and are probably going to hold their value more than any other car on this list, because they simply don't make M cars like they used to. And me personally, like, if they made the new M cars a V8, I'd probably get one. But the inline 6 that they make them with now simply does not sound that good to me, unless it's the B58, which is why I threw the 340i on this list. But other than that, you guys, those are the top 10 cars that you guys can get for around $20,000. If you guys think I left out any type of cars, be sure to comment them down below. Be sure to subscribe and let me know what you guys want to see next. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.